Alright guys, it's Jake Mace. In the previous video, I showed you how to make an iron bone tool called the iron whisk that we use to tap our forearms, our collarbones, our ribs, and our shins to strengthen the bones so we look normal, but we have a denser, stronger skeleton on the inside of our bodies. I also have an iron bone DVD and an iron bone DVD download with all the traditional exercises I teach for iron bone, iron palm, and iron fist training at jakemace.com. The link's down below, check it out. If you don't have a Makiwara board, if you don't have a heavy bag, if you don't have a training partner, there are some other things you can do to strengthen your fists, your forearms, and your shins so that you're more combat ready and you have stronger bones and a stronger skeleton to win the fight. I want you guys to go watch the video I just put out yesterday about the iron whisk and use the iron whisk training as a warm-up to get blood flowing to your bones and kind of like a stretch out session for your bones. So where you would go to the gym or go to the martial arts school and you would stretch out your legs to get warmed up, maybe do some punches and kicks to get the blood flowing. You do your iron rod tapping to warm the bones up. Then I want you guys to go out into nature. In a lot of different Kung Fu, Shaw Brothers, martial arts movies in the past, there's always a martial artist, a Shaolin monk, something like that, training against a tree. And I've been to the Shaolin temple a few times, and when you're at the Shaolin temple, the wushu performing monks there will tell you that the trees that are in the Shaolin Si, the young forest temple, are actually now the Laolin Si, the old forest temple, and they have finger holes in the trees where apparently the monks have driven their fingers into the tree over 1,000 years. Who knows if that's true or just a gimmick to sell tickets and to get donations, but you can use a tree to improve your own strength, especially in the iron bone realm. But there are two things that are very important if you're going to train your iron fists, your iron forearms, and your iron shins in nature. Number one, you need to pick the appropriate tree. So I have a eucalyptus tree here that's very mature. It's got an enormous trunk, so there's no way I'm going to hurt the tree. It's too big. And it has a lot of smooth spots on it. So see how there's bark over here, but right here on the trunk, it's nice and smooth. It almost is colorful. This eucalyptus has a beautiful coloring to it. I'm gonna use this smooth portion so that I'm not damaging my skin, so that I'm not breaking my body, but I'm using the tree to slowly and consistently shock and train my bones, adopting the philosophy of the tortoise always wins the race over the hare. The hare is quick out of the gate, but the tortoise, being slow and steady, always wins the race. And it's not the person who punches hardest, it's not the person who destroys themselves on the tree that wins iron bone. It's the person who is focused and diligent and disciplined and consistent in their practice every day that gets the strongest, most usable, and healthiest bones long term. You guys have no idea what kind of DMs get sent to me on Instagram and Snapchat, my Jake Mace Tai Chi Instagram and Snapchat, who like to send me videos and pictures of their bloody knuckles because they think I'm gonna be impressed with how they have been punching trees and they're bleeding. And this is completely the opposite of what iron fist and iron bone training is all about. You do not wanna cut the body open. You don't want to hurt the body, you want to condition the body. When you go lift weights in a workout gym, you don't tear the muscle, you don't dislocate your shoulders. You slowly condition the pecs, the biceps, the triceps, the quadriceps, the lats, etc., over a long period of time, slowly and safely. And that way you build proper muscle. And when you're building proper bones, you have to do the same thing. The second thing you have to worry about when training in nature is you don't want to hurt nature. So I don't want you guys to pick out a young tree that you're gonna hurt. I don't want you guys to destroy a tree where you're killing the tree. I want you to think about nature as a training partner that you need to grow with. So this eucalyptus is perfect because I'm gonna hit this smooth spot. The tree will show no damage, but I will get hardcore traditional conditioning. First training exercise, I'm gonna train my fist. I'm gonna take a strong combat stance with my knees bent and my body in a very mobile athletic position as if I'm about to fight. Maybe I'll have one hand on the tree to absorb its strength and its essence, and my other hand is focused on the smooth part of the tree. Now the goal is not gonna be to impress people with a viral YouTube video or Instagram video. You can do that by hitting it really hard. I had a video where I punched the tree in Sedona and I got almost 1 million views on Instagram with punching the tree. But that was more for showing off, and it probably wasn't the best thing to do. It was more arrogant. This is about being humble and creating a consistent long-term training program with nature. So I have my fist on the tree, and my focus is to split the fist into 2 different parts. The first 2 knuckles, middle and index finger, and the bottom 2 knuckles, ring and pinky finger. And I'm gonna do about 10 repetitions on each pair of knuckles. So first, I'm gonna focus on the first 2 knuckles. I'm gonna move my hips and my spine as a unit and punch from my hip and punch with my spine and punch with kinetic linking my power from the ground up. Wu, Liu, Qi, Ba, Jiu, Shi. Okay, then I'm gonna do 10 with the bottom 2 knuckles, the pinky and the ring finger knuckles. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That was 20 repetitions, 10 per pair. I'm gonna go all the way to 100, and I'll speed it up right now and time lapse it so that you guys can see the next exercise faster. All right, I just finished my 100 hits, and there's one more tip I need to show you guys that's very important. When you punch somebody in the martial arts, there's 3 ways to hit somebody. One is by letting the hand set on them and hit them with mass. This is what big dudes do. They have the strong arm, they hit with mass. It's called heavy hitting. It could be also called internal striking, because we're trying to hit through the rib cage into the organs. Second is snapping the punch and allowing all your energy to go into your opponent with change of speed, that acceleration with the snap that creates more pounds per square inch because the speed will add more force. And that's a really great way to hit, especially if you want to hit and recover to a defensive position. And the third way to hit in fighting is to do the combination of both. Have heavy hands with the snap. But when doing iron bone training, we don't want to snap. We want to have a relaxed fist, and we want to hit and keep the fist on the tree. And that way the vibration goes into the tree and returns back to my fist. So I feel this vibration that reverberates through my entire forearm, wrist, knuckles, and bone structure. Working on all 4 knuckles, this pair and then this pair. And look at my knuckles really quick, you guys can see. Now you can see they've been conditioning a little bit. These 2 knuckles have a little bit of wear and tear, so do those. And just like if you go to a rock climbing gym and you see the rock climbers or the American Ninja Warriors, their fingertips, the skin on their fingers, or a musician like a guitar player, their fingers are just really tough. The skin has become tough so they can take more of the climbing or more of the playing. And for the iron fist practitioner, the skin on the knuckles gets more tough to where you can actually have stronger, tougher skin to hit somebody with. And then of course you want to condition both fists equally. Next we have to condition the forearms, the radius or the thumb side of the forearm and the ulna or the pinky side of the forearm. The same principles apply. Slow and steady wins the race, hitting with the dead weight and letting the forearm stay on the tree so that that reverberation continues in the tree and returns back to my arm, shaking my skeleton. I want to be in an athletic, combat-ready stance for each hit, and I'm going to do about 50 repetitions. Let's do 20 together. Picking the smooth spot, and 1, 2, using my spine and the twist of my waist, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 more. E, R, san, si, wu, liu, qi, ba, jiu. Sure. On your own, train each arm equally and get to 50 reps at least. Once you finish your 50 reps, we have to turn the palm up and use the ulna side of the bone, the smaller bone that is easily broken if you block somebody in the martial arts. We have to strengthen this to make it more solid, denser, thicker, and stronger. So let's again use our hips, use our waist, and deliver about 20 reps to the ulna. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let that reverberation continue in the tree and back into our skeleton. 9, 10. 10 more. E, R, san, si, wu, liu, qi, ba, jiu. Sure. Of course, train each arm equally so you're a balanced warrior. Last but certainly not least is the shin. And it's very important on the shin not to break your shin or not to break any of your bones. You want to vibrate the bone so that when it heals 3 days from now or so, it's thicker and stronger. There have been studies that I used to bring into my iron bone seminars that were showing the skeleton of a Major League Baseball pitcher's throwing arm versus their catching arm. And when they x-rayed the throwing arm, it's twice as thick, twice as big, and twice as dense as the catching arm, because all of that snapping, throwing their whole life has made one arm's bone structure thicker than the other one. We gotta find a spot on the tree that's smooth, that kind of bubbles out like this so that our shin has a clear attack angle to the tree. We have to pivot the bottom foot as if we're throwing a roundhouse kick, and we need to slowly and carefully kick the tree with only the shin bone and not the muscle about 50 times. Now I think of my shin bone as having two parts, the bottom half and the top half. So I do 10 reps to the bottom half. Once I get 10 reps bottom, I go to the top half, not the kneecap, very important, not the kneecap, but the top half of the shin bone. Let's begin. Bottom half, E, R, san, si, wu, liu, qi, ba, jiu. Sure. Now the top half of the shin. E, R, san. This one hurts. Si, wu. 5 more. Liu, qi, ba, jiu. Sure. About 50 repetitions, equal amounts on the left and the right legs. That's the set that for me, I train every other day, 1 day of rest in between. I do the fists, I do the forearms, I do the shins on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, Mondays, etc., etc. There are 2 very important things you must do after this set is over. Number 1, nutrient-dense food. I have not eaten any animal products in 17 years. I get all my calcium, all my protein, all my nutrients from plants, fruits, grains, herbs, veggies, etc. It's much better to get your calcium and your protein from beans, dark leafy greens like kales and spinaches and kohlrabis. Number 2 is extremely important. It's another training exercise for the bones, and it'll be in my next video I'll upload later on in the week. So subscribe, hit the bell button down below for me, and turn on my notifications. Give me a like for this video. I love seeing all the likes, and comment down below any questions you have about traditional iron bone or traditional Chinese Kung Fu in general. And I'll get in there in the comments and answer your questions and your concerns. Visit me at learnfromjake.com or jakemace.com and follow my Instagram and Snapchat, Jake Mace Tai Chi. And I'll see you guys back here next time.